to 24,800, still 360 points lower as we speak. The Sensex down almost close to 1,200 points. Let's get in Sonam Srivastava from Wright Research PMS to talk more on the markets. Sonam, good morning. Thank you for joining in. Now, in a market where everything seems gloomy as of now, would you, as a long-term investor, recommend that, okay, this is an opportunity because geopolitical events die down sooner or later and then the market starts to move higher from there? What is your call on the market currently? What are you recommending to your clients?
So definitely, I think, like you said, geopolitical events like these, we've seen historically have had short-term impact. I think even today, if you looked at the pre-market, I think the reaction that was expected was much higher, and the market recovered from those levels. Right now, we're seeing some consolidation. In fact, some of our portfolios where we have allocation to a few metal names and industrials, they in fact turned positive during the day today, so which was very exciting. But I think there's more consolidation going on. So I would say that we have to be strategic. I think there is a lot of interest in the manufacturing industrial basket where you can start picking up some strong names in this current correction, right?
So in that case, where are the specific sectors other than the ones you just highlighted that you are seeing an opportunity, because most of these sectors now have corrected from the February highs? Where are you putting your money to work?
So recently, see, I think what we have been bullish on is some of the names which are probably linked to the data center economy. You've seen even power, energy, a lot of stocks in the metals, wires, etc. I think manufacturing, capital goods. I think that's where we're seeing a lot of interest, even in the financial side, on the NBFCs, on the credit growth cycle. I think that's where we've seen taken a bet, and I think. Again, very difficult to comment on this huge geopolitical events. How long does this last? But that is where on the domestic economy we are seeing a lot of interest. Right? So that is where if I were to accumulate right now, that is where I would be accumulating.
So, and is there a sector or is there a basket that you would particularly like to avoid at this point of time, especially considering the current scenario?
Yeah, I think in the current scenario, the stock that are exposed to high crude prices. For example, we do have a few auto names, a few auto ancillaries. I even hold a tire stock which is seeing some correction today, right? So, I think avoiding those stocks where you have exposure to rising crude prices would be diligent right now, because the crude economy would be highly impacted. I think that's what the big impact of escalation in Iran would be, that the crude economy is impacted. So I think we would be staying safe of those stocks right now. But again, you have to see how long does this escalation last, and how much does the impact last.
Now, the one pocket that has been outperforming in the recent past has been metals, and you mentioned metals briefly as well. But do you see metals as a super cycle play, or do you just see it as a tactical opportunity just because base metal prices and gold prices are also going up in the global market? So you would play this theme for now, and once it starts to die out, you would move out of the sector.
Yeah, I think I would not say that we are in a super cycle just yet, because macroeconomically you would see that the growth hasn't come back in a very emphatic way for us to say that this is a commodity super cycle, or a long-term allocation. I think it's a tactical bet, especially due to the interest that is going toward the precious metals. I think there's a pickup that we're seeing through the industrial demand in other commodities also. So I think it's still a tactical play. It could turn into a super cycle if the geopolitics and if the economic situation sort of calms down. But I would say that it's a tactical opportunity driven by some supply and demand constraints right now.
Sonam, pleasure having you today. Thank you so much for sparing time and joining us today. Looking forward to having you more often on the platform. Take a short break, focus on the bond markets with Manisha Gupta.